Operation Confidence proudly presents America's Invisible Heroes radio talk show. Tune in weekly on Sundays, 2 to 3 p.m. Pacific Time, with your hosts, Consuelo Mackey, U.S. Army veteran and co-host Matt Davison, announcer Taylor Marcella, and Brooke Gadesi, U.S. Army veteran and entertainment segment host Charles Whitehead, Veterans and Legal segment host, attorney Danielle Sherrod, U.S. Army Veterans and Lifeline for Women Veterans segment host Martha Elena Varela, Veterans in Recovery host Anthony Akinpora, and U.S. Air Force veteran and Incarceration to Success segment host Kevin Lewandowski. For more information or to be a guest on our show, email info@operationconfidence.org.
Okay, well, welcome everyone, and thank you for tuning in to America's Invisible Heroes, the show dedicated to our veterans and their families. Yes, I'm your host, Consuelo Mackey, Executive Director of a grassroots nonprofit organization called Operation Confidence. No, I'm not a veteran, but my heart goes out to our American heroes, especially those who are disabled and have experienced some type of homelessness. For those who are new to the show, American Invisible Heroes was established to provide a platform for veterans to be able to share their experiences, heartfelt stories, resources, challenges, and accomplishments. Now, allow me to introduce our wonderful co-hosts. We have Matt Davison, U.S. Air Force veteran and board member. Also, U.S. Army Reserve veteran Charles Whitehead. Taylor Marcella, she's a board member and one of our announcers. We have Brooke Gadesi, she's also a board member and an announcer. U.S. veteran Martha Varela, she was supposed to be on today, but she had a little bit of under the weather. But anyway, after that, we have U.S. Army veteran chaplain Wendy Childress, and she has a monthly segment called Living Life Completely. And then we have our Rosie girl, that's Ann Montague, and she has a bi-monthly show entitled Rosie the Rivers Movement. So welcome to my lovely co-hosts. Thank you so much for being on the show again.
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome.
Okay, so now, Matt, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, on September 11th, 2001, after evacuating the Capitol earlier in the day, roughly 150 members of Congress came together in the evening on the building's east front steps to convey the resolve of the nation during a time of great tragedy. Senators stood by representatives, Democrats next to Republicans, and the leadership of both houses gathered as a symbol of strength for a country shocked and saddened by the day's barbaric acts of terrorism. Speaker of the House, Dennis Hastert of Illinois, addressed the nation. When Americans suffer and when people perpetrate acts against this country, we as a Congress and a government stand united. We stand together to fight this evil threat. After members observed a moment of silence over the day's tragedies, those assembled broke into an impromptu rendition of God Bless America. The image of Congress standing strong and the united became an important source of inspiration in the days following the attack. The outpouring of patriotism reverberated around the world. One of the most poignant images of the symbols of U.S. economic and military power burned was the spontaneous singing of God Bless America by members of Congress. Observed a reporter with the Australian, one of Australia's leading newspapers. They stood shaken and tearful on the steps of the Capitol their love of nation and all that it symbolizes plain for the world to see. During his September 20th, 2001 joint session address, President George W. Bush applauded the members who embodied the country's tenacity. I thank the Congress for its leadership at such an important time, he remarked. All of America was touched on the evening of the tragedy to see Republicans and Democrats join together on the steps of his Capitol, singing God Bless America.
Oh, wow. That's so touching. Okay, Brooke, you go, girl.
U.S. Army veteran Wendy Childress, a retired chaplain who is currently a life coach and facilitator. She facilitates workshops for family wellness, singles, and more. Wendy's guest today is Army Captain retired Marcus Banks Bay, who spent over 19 years in the United States Army, where he earned a Master's of Divinity in Professional Chaplaincy from Liberty School of Divinity. He also earned a BA in Criminal Justice from Kent State University. Marcus currently works as a management and counseling professional and author. Take it away, Wendy.
Yes, if I unmute myself, you could hear me. Thank you, Brooke. Yes, we have with us today my dear friend and colleague, Marcus Banks Bay. But before I start my interview with him, if you would allow me a few moments to say a prayer. And dear Heavenly Father, we just want to take this time to give you the glory and praise. Father, we thank you and ask that you bless this venture that Consuela and her board members have taken to uplift and care for the veterans, your people, your children. And we also take this time to ask that you care for and comfort those affected by the 9/11 tragedy. Father, we just ask that you bless each and every person here and under the sound of my voice. In the mighty name of Jesus, I pray, amen. Okay, Marcus, so glad to have you back. And I wanted to have you back because the last time we didn't get the opportunity to really talk about your book. And that's what I wanted to talk about, your book, because I see it as a way to help veterans, because I understand it has helped you as well. And I think writing in general is cathartic. It helps us to release pain and release confusion and release anger and all of those other emotions that go along with it. So if you could please, I see you have your Venn diagram of your book in the back as your background. And if you could please tell us about your book and how it's helping, how it helped you and how it can help other veterans and or active service members.
Absolutely. The book came together when as a purposeful endeavor before I deployed, because as a clinical chaplain and as I was going into my clinical doctoral program for psychology, I knew that I was going to need a plan in place to support not only myself, but my battalion as a whole, because we're talking about not only the leadership, but most importantly, 300 to 400 troops overseas dealing with not only a deployment environment, combat stress. We're talking about also what we're leaving at home. What we have here in my diagram, tackling faith, family, friends, our fitness, the relationships. And for me, it was how to nurture all of those elements. What you also don't see is purpose, planning, patience, persistent perseverance. That is a full spectrum of what I researched with regards to what it takes for us to more or less stay focused on our posterity or future generations. So that is what really came to be Dig Deep, which is the title of my book.
Okay, so, and I'm hearing you say, you correct me if I'm wrong, this came about as you began to deploy as a mechanism to help you through the deployment, as well as your fellow soldier service members.
Right.
And okay, and prior to that, what guided you towards writing this book? What's in the book that give us a few things inside the book that can help?
I will. So within the book is the chapters behind it, really engaging in who we are, if you will, from a faith perspective, right? The faith in yourself, faith from one's individual, not particularly, though I am a chaplain, it's not from my faith perspective. It's for each of us here and the reader themselves. What does faith mean to you? What does faith in yourself, faith in your creator, faith as you grew up, reorganizing faith so that you can have faith in your journey? Suicidality was the reason why I went back into the Army. My brother, when I was 24, he was 26, died by suicide. And I felt that because of OIF, OEF, the events of 9/11, we're talking about a national crisis, a global crisis where we are in COVID. We're talking about very severe issues with relation to mental health, spiritual health, holistic health. How are we tackling this as a nation? And how do we come together? So this is about us as service members being able to travel this path together and talk about our issues and be transparent. So I came from the position of transparency because especially as, like I said, service members, we have to be able to dialogue and discuss, not deal with our issues in isolation. And that was really the approach to this work.
Okay, and I can say this because both of us were prior chaplains, and we both would have worked with suicide. And that's one of the main things that I always promoted is the transparency, because when you yourself are relatable and people understand that you understand what they're going through, you can reach more people. And we know we have 5 veterans on here. We know that suicide runs rampant within our forces. And it sounds like your book can help us, whether we contemplated it, and not just with suicide, but with maintaining those faith relationships and family relationships, those support and resiliency factors to get through our PTSD and other emotional
barriers
you might have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you. And what some of our listeners may not know is that September is Suicide Prevention Month, sometimes called Suicide Awareness Month. And though it's a topic that is difficult to discuss, it's a topic that a lot of us have conflict with, but should discuss, right? Because it's an issue with the human condition. It's about, like you said, Wendy, resiliency, resolve, and it revolves around these very critical relationships with our faith, with our family, with our friends, with our fitness, with our finances. When we lose these connections, or when these are in, if we will, in threat, when we believe that these connections might be lost, we begin to disassociate, we begin to be in fear, and the fear base of it sends us into these emotional spaces, and the communication with it, we have to find out how to bridge the conversation find our way back to our faith, find our way back to our family, find our way back to our friends, and nurture all of that. So that's what this book is really about. And then most importantly, what I have is our purpose there, and planning around all of this. So I wrote it with the idea not only of the human condition, because we're not separate. We have a multitude of faces here, and that is what the U.S. is. And that's what the military service represents, because there's no separation, if you will. There's no, we're talking about LGBTQ, we're talking about all, should I say, races, colors, creeds, and so on and so forth. And that's really what this book was written to, like I said, the human condition, because as a chaplain, we're taught interdenominational faith in supporting individuals regardless of what their faith tradition is.
Yeah, and I thank you for pointing that out, because I was going to acknowledge that you said what you said in the beginning when you said coming from your faith, your individual faith background, because that is one thing that is key for us chaplains in the military to understand, that we are to be there regardless of whether you have no faith or multiple faiths.
Yeah.
We are there to serve and help you. So it sounds like that you've written a book that covers the gamut, that will be applicable for anyone, regardless of their faith background and or ethnicity. And
Correct.
So it sounds like your book is all encompassing, and I'm going to have to get it and read it.
Wendy, you got a free copy. I need to drive it on down to you.
Well, okay, you're on live. You all heard that. I got a free copy. Look forward to
Witnesses.
It's gotten 5 stars, just to let you all know. And
Yes, you go there.
From 2 reviews.
Is it on Amazon?
It's you can go to Brandon Stone, and my publisher is finishing the negotiations for Barnes and Noble and Amazon. The formatting is getting complete for Kindle, so it's going out there. The 5-star review came through Reader's Favorite. And let me just pop that up to you real quick. It's just this last line. It says, the book's focus moments invite readers to reflect on certain points, and space to make notes is provided. He explains his ideas with simplicity and common sense, which is lacking in many self-help books today. If you're looking for a way to get to know the real you and make the most of yourself, put Dig Deep by Marcus A. Banks Bay at the top of your reading list.
Whoa, yeah.
That sounds like a winner, Marcus. Congrats.
That's great. Congratulations. All right.
And
now you
look,
got to, don't make this your second last visit. Now you got to.
Oh, no, not at all. I said to folks, I wrote this book. I mean, I give it away for PDF for folks that can't afford it. I said, I wrote this book for the world, not for money.
There you go.
That's what I was thinking, that it sounds like you have a winner that will help a lot of people, and not just definitely our veterans and our service members, but people in general that suffer.
Wow, that's so wonderful.
Where can they find the book?
You can go to Brandon Stone, that is brand, the letter N, and Stone, STONE.com. And you can go to the publishing page, and you'll find my book amongst the other books that are available. And like I said, since it's just fresh off the press, it just came out in print 2 weeks ago. You can also go to my name, marcusbanksbay.com, and you'll be able to get a signature copy from me. I'll mail that out to you.
Can you give out your email address and your website?
Oh, absolutely. Let me do that. It'll be Marcus Banks Bay, or excuse me, m.banks.bay@gmail.com.
Repeat it again.
That'll be m.banks.bay, like my name is spelled. Hopefully you can see that on the screen. m.banks.bay@gmail.com.
Great. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much. And like I said, I'm here to support the people who need support. Go to my Instagram, Marcus Banks 5x5.
Okay.
And can you email the info@Operation Confidence so we can put your book on our website?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Info@Operation Confidence.
Right.
I'll start on that right now. Oh,
Okay.
I also like to say that I'm on the board of the Veterans Accession House located in Concord. I was invited because, again, the work with our veterans community is never ending, and we're doing some great work up there. It's a relatively new nonprofit, though they've been doing work for the past 7 years. So
well, I'll let Wendy hook that up, but we want some of the vets on that from that organization to come on the show as well. Both of you guys kind of navigate that for us and bring them on, okay?
absolutely.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Wendy. As always, you always have great guests. Very proud of you, girlfriend.
Oh, you're welcome. Anything to help out, Connie.
Thank you. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so we're gonna go ahead on to our next guest, and that is you, Taylor. You're gonna introduce
No.
our precious person, right?
It's a Taylor or who's, yeah, we're gonna.
Well, yeah, because you turned it over to Taylor. She's gonna do a good job.
Is it Taylor or Brooke? I'm not sure. Whoever we
Oh,
see.
it's Taylor.
May I interject here for a minute? We have a
We're gonna
101-year-old lady.
Well, that's
on
who's
the
coming on now, and you
okay. And
Yeah.
I just want to make sure she can hear us. Hilda,
Yeah.
can you hear us? Can you hear us, Hilda?
Her mic is muted.
And, unmute yourself and there you go.
There we go.
Hi, Hilda.
Can you hear us, honey?
I didn't hear my name.
She said hi.
There we go. Good enough.
Where is she? Oh, hi. Hi.
Hi.
Honey.
All right, we're gonna introduce you. We're gonna introduce Ann, and then she's gonna introduce you for us. So whoever is doing it, go ahead. You know.
Okay.
And you taking
And
my
one-
spot, so you hush, Charles.
Yeah, well, you're having a bad day, so somebody got to.
Well, I'm good now, so be quiet. I want to introduce.
All
Okay,
right.
come on, Taylor.
Anne Montague is Rosie's daughter. Some of her first memories are about the home front war effort, saving Greece and taking it to the store to be used in the war effort, their large victory garden, and her mother going to work in the mornings feeling well, but coming back dizzy from inspecting lenses at what they called the war factory. Rosies are the surviving women who worked on the home front for the war effort during World War II. We encourage people to find them, learn what they did, and get Americans to work with them now, though they are about above 90, to do projects that leave a lasting record of their legacy. Each Rosie is different, and each story has the human touch. And when we put their stories together and what they did during the war, their legacy is more than one story. Thus, their legacy is to do today what they did in World War II, which is to pull together to do highest quality work to keep and use our freedom. Most Rosies are deceased, but we are on a marathon to find all living Rosies and to get communities and the nation to find ways to work together to assure they are not forgotten. Rosies did all kinds of work. They riveted airplanes, welded ships, made uniforms and tents, farmed for food for the troops, cut metal, inspected lenses, and hundreds of things. Anne's guest today, or actually, you know what, Anne, take it away.
I
don't you
will
introduce
do
the
that.
guest?
I will do that. Hello, Hilda.
Well, hello.
Hello, my
Ann.
dear. Hello, my dear.
And hi, Hilda. It's me, Connie.
I'm
Hello.
waving to you,
Thank
Hilda.
you.
So,
Tell Hilda hi, everyone. She's 101 years old. She's
she's
fabulous.
91 and a half. Her birthday was in March, so she's
91.
91 and a half. Don't forget that, Ann.
Good March.
Huh?
101 and a half. Not
The
90.
mark will be 102.
Oh my
101 and a half.
God, isn't God good? And look at you, just fabulous,
She's
girlfriend.
beautiful. She's really beautiful.
Yes, she is.
Um,
Oh, how precious.
I want to tell you how I met her just, well, a week and 2 days ago in Washington, D.C. We had a very special event at the Naval Yard, which, of course, housed the U.S. Naval Museum. And Hilda was one of 2 Rosies that the city of Washington found for us because we couldn't find Rosies in Washington. And the reason we couldn't is they're often called Rosie the Riveters. So the women thought they had to be riveters, and so did the children. So we said to the city of Washington, we need women who worked on the war front, who were basically clerks or government workers. They said, we already celebrate women or seniors who are above 100. So they gave us 5 Rosies above 100, and only 2 were able to come that day. And so you're just so beautiful, and I'm so glad to see you.
Well, there she is.
This picture is of the ambassador of the Netherlands, who was so absolutely happy to be able to honor these 2 women.
And look it up, if she's standing there, well, this is gorgeous. You go,
and
girl.
look how he has to bend down. He's probably 6'4", but
Oh, well, goodness.
but you also see that they laid out the red carpet. See the red carpet?
Yeah. And
So
she looks so cute.
it was a very special day. And now I'm going to ask you some questions, Hilda, so that people can know you. Tell us where you were born and what was your childhood like?
I was born in Mansura, Louisiana, a Boss Parish.
And what did you do as a child?
As a child, we farmed. I worked on the farm. I hoed cotton, picked cotton, hoed corn, picked corn, potatoes, and everything. We were farmers.
And now, when you were born in, tell me, 1920, am I right?
Yes, March 31st, 1920.
March 31st, okay. So now, when did you decide to go into Washington to work in the offices?
I was in New Orleans working at Truro Infirmary Hospital as a nourishment girl. I fixed nourishment for the patients, snacks in between. And we that was the title, nurse, nurse. And I fixed, I didn't fix, I seen that they would have things that they could eat or drink before they get their meal.
Now, then how did you know about the job in Washington?
I decided while I was working, I went to take a business course. And at the YWCA in New Orleans. And then the professor came and announced that President Roosevelt needed so many girls to come to Washington, DC to work. And that was during World War II. So, but you had to take an examination before you qualified to come. So then I took the exam and I passed the exam. And then we had to furnish our own transportation to get to DC. So my uncle and my aunt. They got some money together and they put me on the train at the date that I was supposed to leave New Orleans to come to DC. And the job was to start in the 13th of March, 1943. So I worked at Liberty Lawn Building, which was a branch of the Treasury Annex. It was an annex Treasury Department. So I worked there until I had my first child in 47. But right up during the time that I was on maternity leave, after my child was born, I got a letter stating that the war was over and the job, I was the job was, they didn't need us anymore.
Wow.
Now, after the war then, Hilda, you went back to work at some point, didn't you?
Yes.
With the Veterans Administration,
The
I think,
Veteran
right?
Administration
Yeah.
was doing some hiring in the early 50s. And so I went back to work for the Veteran Administration, making sure that the veterans and their family got their checks.
Ah, everybody applaud that, right?
Yeah, really.
Oh, yeah.
So what was your job called? When you worked at the VA, were you a clerk? What were you called?
Well, yeah, they referred it as a clerk, yeah.
A clerk.
That at the time, yeah.
And so in other words, you had to make sure that the checks got out on time.
Right,
You had to
because I
help
was
with-
the supervisor.
You were supervisor, really.
Right.
Now, you've had a full life. How many children do you have, Hilda?
I had 3 children.
Frank is one. I know Frank.
Okay, my second child, Susie, she passed in 1990.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Me too. I'm sorry to hear that.
And then you have Cynthia, right?
And then Cynthia, right.
And now you live in Washington, D.C., proper, just in Washington, D.C., do you?
Property.
What town do you live in now?
I'm in the 7th Ward, District Ward, Washington.
Do you miss Louisiana?
Oh, we don't have counties here.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Do you ever miss your home? Do you ever miss Louisiana and farming?
Oh, no.
Never.
No, not farming. Nobody.
I've been 43.
Do you know Consuela up here? Wave to her, Consuela.
Another friend of mine, Evangeline Caton from New Orleans, she and I, when we got off of the train in Washington, D.C., it was pouring, it was snowing and snowing, and she looked at me and I looked at her, and so I said, bad. I said, when I get my first check, I'm going back home. And she said, and me too. Oh, she said, I don't like this place.
Hilda, I'm from New Orleans.
We were the last 2.
She's enjoying herself.
We were the only 2 that always stayed in D.C. because she married a guy from Chicago, and I married a guy from North Carolina.
Oh, goodness.
Really? Did you really? Oh, you're so beautiful. Do you
Isn't
know
she?
that Consuela wave to her so she'll know?
Hilda,
Yes.
I'm from New Orleans.
She's
Ah.
from Louisiana. There you go. You have to be third cousins or 15th
Yes,
cousins
you
or
never know.
something. We're all
Never
32nd cousins,
know.
aren't we?
Yeah, that's
So,
a
Hilda, can you take a
different
minute
place.
and tell us about last Friday in Washington? Tell us about that event. Did you enjoy it?
I said they did, and it was
Yes.
a beautiful affair.
Yes,
Beautiful.
it was
enjoyed
beautiful.
every bit of it. Yes.
I worked 13 years to make that happen. I swear I
And we're
did.
so proud of you. And you have to tell the audience, what was it about? We don't know.
Well, on September 3rd, we essentially chose 6 cities, including one in Europe, that have done 5 years of work to help us find Rosies and to do projects that essentially tell the public how to be involved with the Rosies and what the Rosies legacy really is. So we chose Washington as one of those 6 cities. So at one time we had Washington, Philadelphia, Nijmegen, Netherlands, Brunswick, Maryland, Camden, South Carolina, and Huntington, West Virginia, all celebrating in their separate ways. So I was in DC, and Hilda was with another Rosie in DC with me. And we had an admiral who actually introduced the day. And then we had the ambassador whose picture you just saw. Then we had the woman who's in charge of the Department of Aging for Washington speak. Then we had a bell ringing at noon. And then we got to meet Hilda and another Rosie who is named Evangeline. And I was I'm really glad to meet you. Honestly, I really was, Hilda.
I was glad to meet
I've looked for you all my life.
Oh,
You,
we all have. We're so proud of you. And we're proud of you. And I want the audience to know that I witnessed myself, this one little lady right here, and did that whole project almost by herself.
Almost alone.
Yeah, she had a few volunteers, but primarily she did it herself. She so reminds me of me. we have a few very dedicated folks that help us, but you know, we don't have it. You would think it was a team as big as that event turned out to be.
Oh yeah, it was really a team. As a matter of fact, we changed our email address to team@AmericanRosieMovement.org after that event because I felt like I had a team.
Yeah, well, you had some great
I'm going to ask you one more question. When you were doing that work for the government, did you feel that people were pulling together at that time?
Yes.
Do you think can we do that again in America?
Yes.
Yes, we can. We just have to set our minds to it, and then we have to quit throwing mud pies at one another, right?
Right.
Everybody. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got a precious lady there, isn't she fun?
I think all of you are precious. You guys are just amazing.
Yes. Rose thing. I got to read up on y'all.
What do you think, Matt, about this young lady here, Hilda?
Beautiful.
Yes.
Matt?
Thank you.
Yes.
I think he got it muted.
I think this lady is beautiful.
This lady is beautiful.
Oh,
this is what beauty is really about. This is what
if God would bless us to look like her and be so articulate, she can think back 50, 60 years. I can't even think. I can go in the room and go in and say, what the heck did I come in here for?
Amen to that, Connie.
She retired in 1960. Can you believe that?
No, I said amen to that with her memory and her articulation.
Brooke, you weren't even conceived then, were you, Brooke? Nobody even thought of Brooke at that time, did they? How old are you, Brooke?
65.
Oh, well,
are you, Brooke?
I'm not 65. I was born in 65. I'm 50.
Oh, yeah.
Almost
Ready to say-
56.
Gotta say, you don't look 65.
Yeah, I'm
No,
getting ready to say,
Give-
girl, I had no idea.
no, I was born in 65.
So
So
she
I'm,
quit
50,
working
I'm going to be
before
56 next week.
All right.
Wow.
Hilda, we have something similar. I used to live on a farm as well. I was driving tractors as a kid. I started driving at 9. I was working in the cotton fields, but we had cotton pickers, but we raised we grew cotton.
Y'all were big shots. Y'all were big shots.
Oh,
We had a sack.
yeah, my mother used to pick cotton though, like my grandfather had this huge farm and my mother had 15 brothers and sisters, and so I lived on that farm. I drove tractors and trucks, and boy, we grew rice, wheat, soybean, and cotton, and so I've done all that, had chickens and cows and horses, and then I came to the city and it's a whole different world.
And
But
it is
I
a
can
different world.
understand it's a whole
But
different world.
Charles, where did you grow up?
Well, my father was in the army. I was born in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh, was it?
And then we moved around, being military kid, but we settled back there
Yeah,
for a minute. And,
fact, we had Miss Strada was from Arkansas, and
All
Mr.
right.
Strada. Mhm.
Tell me
my
this,
brother-
Hilda, what advice do you have for America today? What do you think we should be saying to each other in America today?
you talking to Hilda, right?
Hilda, yeah, she's thinking. Hilda, what advice do you have for Americans today?
Love one another.
There you
That's
go.
right.
Love one another.
Wow. That's right.
We wish we could just get through that screen and give you a big old hug, Hilda.
Right.
You're such a role model. Thank you so much,
She's
girlfriend.
beautiful. She is
Now you
beautiful.
got to come back on the show anytime you want. Okay? Ann's gonna hook it up for you because we want to hear some more stories. Don't you have more
Okay.
stories to share with us? Yes, you do.
Yeah, plenty of stories.
It's too much.
Let me ask you one more question. Hilda, when you were working, did anything happen on the workplace floor that you remember more than anything else?
No.
No? Everybody got along, right?
My first job with the Treasury, we had to make sure that when the check was signed by the person that the check was made out to, and no fraud. And because I came across one of my uncle's checks, Hamilton Batiste. And I said, oh my God, because we called him Uncle Tack. And so I looked and see, he could not read or write, but he had an X, And if you made an X, where the name was, because they would tell you what an X there. And then, but I'm trying to think, when the X was there, somebody else would sign under the bottom or something. But anyway, I can't exactly remember that part right now.
Maybe they were signing it to commander to endorse the X.
Oh yeah, but I knew because that check was made out to him that one of his children would sign the check. Yeah, right.
Did he get the money or did somebody else get the money? Was
Oh
it
no, it was his money.
his money?
His money.
His money.
You say you guys call him Uncle Taxi? Was he
We
doing
call him Uncle Tack.
Uncle?
Uncle Tack.
That was cute. And who was Uncle Taxi?
Uncle Tack was
Uncle Tack.
Okay.
Hamilton. You
Okay.
see, I had a lot of uncles and aunts on both sides. I had the Sampsons because my mother was a Sampson.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why when our family reunion says Baptiste Lavallee Sampson.
All right.
Okay.
But
Wow.
thank you, Hilda. I'm so glad you were able to come on. Please, please thank Frank for us for helping put you on the meeting today.
Who is Frank, her son?
Yes.
Frank,
Are you,
thanks,
Frank?
How you doing?
You got an amazing mommy.
Thank you. I know that.
You're gonna hook up with Ann and bring her back on because we can learn from her.
Okay. Just let Ann let us know.
Okay, Ann. I want her back, Ann, as soon as you can.
I will.
Okay.
I will do that.
Thank you so much, Hilda. It was such a joy. We're going to give you let's give her a virtual hug.
Yeah, virtual.
Ooh.
Hug, Ann.
All right now.
Okay.
I'm sure this.
Bye, sweetheart. You so lovely. We love you.
I love you all.
Thank you.
All right. Take care of yourself.
Take care, Precious. Isn't she precious?
All right,
Oh, she's precious.
Yes.
Ooh, what a wonderful person.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're moving right along here. Brooke
So
is
the
on
Rosie
you.
video, because we gotta.
Yeah, I want to show that. I asked you to show that.
Well, I'm getting ready to show it.
Well, show it.
Oh, so
Frank, if you want to leave, you can now.
No, he don't have to leave. Let him look at the video first. Don't leave yet, Frank.
Okay. Very good.
I am Buddy Canute, a former Rosie the Riveter. I riveted P-40 pursuit planes during World War II. We did our part back then. Now, can you step up and help the Rosies pull America together again? Please call 304-776-4743. That is 304-776-4743.
Wow, that's so cool.
Rosies.
Well, keep on doing the good work, and we're so proud to be a part of it.
Well, I cannot tell you how inspired I am by the women that basically have been forgotten. That the worst part is the worst.
Can you imagine that?
It's terrible. The worst part for me is that they are so pure at heart.
Yeah.
And they really believe in America. And we're
going to make it happen.
We're going to make it happen. We got to, yeah.
We got to. Thank you so much. And I look forward to you coming back on in about 2 more weeks, right? Oh, here come Hilda again. Maybe Hilda got something else to say.
I got somebody else for you at that time.
Oh, good. You back, Hilda?
I don't think she can hear us.
Yeah, I don't think she can hear. She's back. I think she has something to say. And left. Well, let us stay there. I think she want to see the rest of the show.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So Brooke, it's on you. You have something to share about some special friends.
I do. And yesterday, as we know, was a very sad, solemn day in this country, remembering 9/11. And I just want to take a moment and remember the hero dogs of 9/11. When the World Trade Center collapsed on September 11th, 2001, nearly 10,000 emergency rescuers joined in the efforts. More than 300 of those heroes were dogs. We remember and honor the hero dogs of 9/11, along with the countless people who had their lives irrevocably changed by man's best friend. From search and rescue dogs to comfort dogs to bomb detection dogs, these canine stories of courage and healing are a long-lasting legacy that must never be forgotten. Brittany was 2 years old at the time of the attack. She and Denise Corliss, her owner and handler, worked at Ground Zero for 10 days as their mission went from rescue to recovery. Corliss, a volunteer firefighter with the Cy-Fair Fire Department, began training Brittany for search and rescue work at just 8 weeks old. The duo soon became a FEMA certified canine team that also worked in the rescue missions during Hurricane Katrina, Rita and Ivan. Brittany retired from formal search work at 9 years old, but continued to work as a Goodwill ambassador for her local fire department and as a reading assistance dog at a local elementary school. Brittany remained the only living 9/11 search and rescue dog until June 6, 2016, when she was laid to rest just shy of 17 years old. Riley, a golden retriever that assisted in the 9/11 search and rescue efforts, was trained to find live people. Still, he did help recover several bodies of firefighters, but Riley worked desperately to find the living because that was his job. His search partner and human explained Riley knew the people he continued to find were dead. He was never formally a trained cadaver dog. His job was to find the still living. I tried my best to tell Riley he was doing his job. He had no way to know that when firefighters and police officers came over to hug him, and for a split second you could see them crack a smile, that Riley was succeeding and doing an altogether different job. He provided comfort, or maybe he did know. Colby and Guinness, both Labrador retrievers, searched tirelessly through the rubble of the World Trade Center before returning home to Southern California to retire at their handler's home. Both of these dogs worked for an even larger and more crowded area than they were ever trained for, searching for 11 days and 12-hour shifts. Their reward was a nap or a chew toy. Together they found remains of dozens of people in the rubble. Jake was only 10 months old when he was found living as a stray, living on the streets and suffering from several injuries, including a dislocated hip and a broken leg. He was adopted by Mary Flood, a member of the Utah Task Force 1, a search and rescue team trained to respond to disasters.
And don't you have some pictures of those?
I do have some pictures.
And you'll narrate who they are so we know who they are.
I will. I'm not as fast with the sharing as I'd like to be, but
that's okay.
Can everyone see? No.
No.
I got some issues here. Let's see.
There we go.
Okay, that's Colby and Guinness. They were rescue dogs. I'm doing a bad job with the sharing here.
No, you okay. Take your time.
And then I got a couple more to show you. Let me just pull it up. It's taking, my computer is overheating and overwhelmed.
Okay.
Thunder here, you can see him in action.
Oh, wow.
At the scene of a real tragedy. So these dogs do great work. We're lucky to have them.
Yeah, that's so precious.
I got one more, and then I'll let it go. But I got one more. This one you can really see. I mean,
wow.
Standing with his handler and doing the work that no one else can do.
Mm-hmm. That's so special. Thank you so much. We need to see that. You know, the dogs are overlooked. You know, we're all dog lovers, you know, and they do an amazing job. And in fact, I didn't even hear through all this time anything about the dogs, rescue dogs. Did you?
No, and they were there every day at all hours.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, thank you so much for that information. Okay, so we're going to move right along. Taylor Precious. It's a precious girl. She gets so mad because I go into that. All y'all are my babies. Even Ann is my baby, and Hilda is my baby. I can't help it. Matt's my baby, and so is Wendy, and old Charles over there.
She calls me her sister, and then she calls me her baby. What am I
Well,
going
yeah. So I just want to hug all you guys.
Expect the unexpected from Connie. Okay.
You better leave me alone.
Taylor's like, can I get going now? You know.
What you say?
I'm good. I'm just here. I'm just here. I'm enjoying.
Okay, come on, Taylor. Let's go.
So making your salon and spa services accessible to everyone. I was recently passing by a hair salon when I saw an employee walking an elderly customer with walking difficulties out to her husband, who was waiting in his car. She took a moment to talk to him as well, wished them a lovely day, and promised to book the lady in again for her next appointment. Everyone who saw this smiled. Here are general guidelines. According to the National Disability Authority, here are some good general guidelines to help hair salon and barber shops show accommodation to customers with disabilities. Treat a person with disability as considerately as you would like to be treated. When giving out salon and spa services to a person with a disability, never patronize them. Trust them or treat them as you treat other adults and address them as you address others. If another person accompanies someone with a disability, look and speak directly to the person with the disability. Find out as early as possible how the person prefers to communicate. If necessary, ask the person's family member, care, or support person how this individual prefers to communicate. Let them explain the person's communication aids or devices. Brief relevant colleagues so that the client doesn't have to go through it all repeatedly. Do not assume that a person with a disability needs help. Ask the person whether they would like help and then ask how can you assist them. Do not be offended if your help is not accepted. Many people do not need any help. Ask questions that you need to ask. Do not assume that a person with a disability is more fragile than others.
That's right. And you and Charles are perfect examples. Charles, I don't know about you guys. You do all kinds of things from that wheelchair. Hop off the curb and drive the car and teach the classes and jump off the side of the buildings and skydive. What else, Charles? Play basketball and have your band.
Yeah, songwriters.
Songwriter, musician.
I just enjoy life. It's called life, you know.
Yeah, it is.
Some people wait till they get older to enjoy life, and I'm just doing it as I go.
There you go. And we're so proud of you. Go, guy. So we moving right along here now. It's on you, Charles, isn't it?
Hot news.
Okay.
Not just hot news, but it's like the sun with a little hot sauce on it. Have a little flavor to the heat.
Okay.
Now, last Saturday, Friday and Saturday, I'll say last Saturday, I went. It was the Over the Edge fundraiser for the PVA. Now, I participated in this fundraiser for the Paralyzed Veterans of America, the California chapter, which is here in Long Beach. It was held at the Long Beach Hilton. One by one, about 20 participants, including me, went over the edge, rappelled 141 feet, which is 14 stories, down the side of the Long Beach Hilton. Every dollar raised went directly into the pockets of the chapter members as a part of the 100 New Smiles campaign. For many years, veterans with a disability have been using sports as a therapeutic tool. It helps us to overcome serious injury or illnesses and is a means of recovery. We fight our personal battles on the track, in the pool, and on the court, and even rappelling down 14-story buildings. Our drive to overcome, recover, and push through obstacles sends a powerful message. A serious injury or illness does not interrupt the pursuit of a meaningful and productive life. You know what that does? It just makes everything better. The Paralyzed Veterans of America California chapter, one of the nation's longest-standing veteran spinal cord injury organization in the nation, is dedicated to making lives better for paralyzed veterans and their families across Southern California. Participating in adaptive sports is a non-pharmacological approach to addressing some of the following issues: promoting adjustment to disability, encourage independent living, increase physical fitness and functioning, increase balance and coordination, decrease pain and reliance on pain medication, increase self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-awareness, and increase mood and decrease anxiety. Those things happen. I mean, you don't have to be a paralyzed veteran to know that stuff. Paralyzed Veterans of America California chapter is very supportive of its members' vast passions. From scuba to skydiving, Bokia to Le Mans racing, they can get you out and put a smile on your face. Whether adrenaline junkies, low intensity outdoor sports, court sports, or water sports, We are confident we can connect you with an organization that has something for you. We even have a section of multi-sport organizations who provide a wide array of adaptive activities. Operation Confidence is honored to have PVA as a sponsor and bi-monthly host. Now, I'm going to show you guys some of the pictures I did when I did my little rappelling thing. There's a video coming, I'll show it later, but this was it was a thing to remember. So it started up here at the top. Bam, there I am in my wheelchair. Can you guys
That's
see that?
you. Yeah. Oh my God.
That's me in the chair. So
That's
boom.
amazing. What?
Yes, here I am going down. Who said that? Brooke?
Me. I'm like,
I know, I'm Brooke.
I'm speechless.
Yep. Boom. There I am, coming down the side, Look at everybody shaking their heads like, what's wrong with this dude? Hey, I'm military, I'm not afraid. It's like down the side, just like going down the elevator, that's all. It's just an outside elevator.
I know elevator.
Look at that's there. Not an elevator. No.
Brooke is shocked. She's in
I'm like, no, there's just, I don't know. For me, there's like no reason to do that. I'm so impressed.
Yep, there I am.
What?
Look at that face. He's super dude.
Like, what?
Don't mess with me.
That's right.
And and let me tell you guys a little something that I share with Connie. I just went through a bout with COVID, believe it or not. I'm fully vaccinated. My symptoms were mild. I literally start off with a cough, and then it went into like a nasal thingy a little bit, and I was sneezing. But I took a COVID test because I go to work, and I didn't want to be going to work, and I took a COVID test, and I was surprised I was positive. But I'm sharing this with you to let you know that I'm fully vaccinated, and 2 years ago I was at the brink of death. I'm very vulnerable. What do you call it? But my problems were very minimal. In the beginning, and I want to share this, for people who go through this. In the beginning, I was at home here like the first couple of days, and it wasn't until about a week after I realized I was positive. But I was in my kitchen cooking and cleaning, and then I picked up some weights and tried to do some weight. And about 2 hours later, I got ready to get in bed, and I literally ran out of gas. I was like and then so I waited half an hour before I could get in bed. And
wow.
And it wasn't just about getting in bed. I had to get in bed and make sure my feet are elevated because I have a sore on one of my feet, right? And I read up on it. You can't do a whole bunch of stuff, when you have COVID, like when you're doing it and when you're in the midst of it. And so then it was like, okay, so I went back to work on a Tuesday for half a day. I quarantined myself for 10 days like I was supposed to and everything, right, from the point of my symptoms. And after those 10 days, I went back to work. I was out of shape. I lost strength. I lost some weight because I was literally out of shape from not going out. I didn't go outside my place at all. I literally, and there's no endurance pushing inside the house, just so I want to share this with you guys just so this is I never expected that I would catch COVID, and I'm very careful, but my symptoms were basically, it was just the cough and then the sneeze, and then they mild out. But what I did have was a very mild nauseous feeling up until about 4 days ago. And then since then, I wanted to eat, but then it was like, I don't know, but I did eat. And then, so now I'm like, I'm eating, I'm tearing the food up. I feel great, and Connie was always sending me a text. How are you feeling? She was worried about me doing that rappelling event. Well, that was a Tuesday, Wednesday that I went to work half a day. Thursday, I was there most of the day. Friday and Saturday, I did all the event. The band played. I carried all my equipment. I had no power issues at all. And today I'm here again talking to you guys. You know, I always say I've been in 9 different hospitals in the course of my life. He did it again. You know,
God is good, isn't he?
God is good. Yeah, yes, he did it again. And
I must have worried him to death. I was I was calling out, oh, he just had us sick when he told me he had, because he was, remember when you had gone, you was in the line going to get checked the first time.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Remember?
And I had a PVA board meeting. I did it from my car. I brought my computer and I got on the Wi-Fi. I did the board meeting from with my computer on my passenger seat in the car while I was waiting to take my drive-through COVID test. You know, God is good. I feel great. I feel
Yeah,
great. You know,
I'm so
and
thankful.
you know, it's like Connie was. You know, when I told them, they said, "I don't worry about that." Wouldn't miss it for anything. You know,
Yeah, I
I'm
was I
telling.
was frantic. Oh,
And so that's the
I
hot
was,
news with the so
yes, hot.
you know
Drove
I,
me crazy. I was been, I borderline cuckoo anyway. So.
all right, yeah, we agree to that.
I'm so glad you're okay, Charles.
I feel fine. I feel
Isn't
great.
that wonderful? That's because he's blessed,
Yes, I
That's why
am.
we
I
have
am.
these spiritual folks on here like Wendy
Hmm. Yep.
giving us
Yep.
prayer. We're all very spiritual. And I'm so thankful you're okay. And Matt, he's very spiritual too. He
Yes.
prays for us because we just out here just
Yeah.
floating.
And
But good.
that is and God is the head of my life. And I didn't even tell my family because,
Oh,
I'm the guy in the family on both sides, father and mother, that everybody kind of looks to and gets the inspiration in this. And if I get sick and I say I got this, they'll be all panicking and
Yeah.
calling me, so they'll, if they see this show, and I don't care who knows, it's like, I'm doing great, for
Thank God.
the
'Cause I
things
was
that I've been
panic
through my
stricken.
life. I
I didn't
still
want you to
enjoy.
know how panic stricken I was. Could you
I,
tell?
you panic stricken just on this show, you know. Hit the record. Oh, wait a minute. I
Talking
forgot.
about when you told me you had COVID.
Yeah, I know. She wouldn't leave. I was like, I'm okay. I'm fine. It's like, hey, So,
3 o'clock in the morning, you woke? Are you okay?
boy, yeah. See, you would call me 3 o'clock in the morning. Click. What do you mean? I don't got time for that. I'm like Sweet Brown. No, ain't nobody got time for that.
I was
Anyway,
worried, but I'm so happy. That's
but
your blessing. Thank you
yeah,
so
it is.
much for
It is.
sharing that
So,
story.
you know, I,
What's
it,
on you, Matt?
Well,
mhm.
I want to say, stay strong, Charles.
That's
Absolutely,
right.
We want
absolutely.
you well.
And
That's right.
my last words are, you guys, take precautions where you have to.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Thank you so much. You're such
Hmm.
an inspiration.
Okay. The Wounded Warriors Project has a saying that I will now quote. The greatest casualty is being forgotten. End quote. This saying directly applies to our homeless veterans. We don't see them because we don't travel to Skid Row, but we don't look under bridges, but we don't search hidden wooded areas, but they're there, all around us, America's invisible heroes. How about you recognize them? Perhaps they wear a baseball cap that says Vietnam veteran, or maybe it's the American flag attached to their wheelchair, or the Purple Heart on their jacket. Why do they hide away, these men and women who served and sacrificed for this nation? Perhaps they are tormented by post-traumatic stress, which may have led to addiction, loss of employment, alienation from family, and extreme depression. I recall one veteran telling me that he didn't care if he lived or died. I assured this man that I cared and would do all in my power to ensure that he lived well, and he did. Operation Confidence, led by Consuela Mackey, also cares. She cares enough to devote her life to those who have been forgotten. Operation Confidence is in place to remove men and women veterans from hidden places, provide them with a safe place to be, help them find employment, take care of their health issues, and find what all of us take for granted. Through the beautiful land donation of Miss Jet Sisson and the outstanding architecture of Mr. Norbert F. Nardi, Miss Mackey and Operation Confidence now have the land that they need and the housing plans to rebuild broken lives. Okay.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. That's so touching.
But the key here is that there are funds that are needed to do this job.
Right.
And that's what we need to address and talk about. And the private reception that you held, the fundraiser, was a call for help, Connie.
Yeah.
If you care for those who gave of themselves for you and your family, if you care that they get the chance they deserve to get their lives back intact, I urge you to contribute to the all-consuming dream of Operation Confidence and give back to those who gave so much.
Thank you.
To find out how to do what you can to turn this dream into reality, simply contact info@operationconfidence.org or call 818-282-4916. That's info@operationsconfidence.org or 818-282-4916. On behalf of our brothers and sisters in service, I thank you.
That was so beautiful. Thank you so much, Matt, for giving us that shout out. We really need it. And with people like you and the rest of the hosts and supporters and volunteers, we're gonna make this happen. It's just around the corner. COVID held us up quite a bit, actually for over a year and a half. We've been dealing with this for what, 2 years, huh? But we're there. We're gonna be there, no problem. You have a little bit more information to share with us about an award that you received, right?
Oh, Quilts of Valor. On September the 7th, I was privileged to be honored by the Quilts of Valor, a nonprofit organization, through the presentation of a patriotic quilt for service and sacrifice on behalf of this nation. The quilt is beautifully designed by giving and caring ladies who, in my eyes, are angels. They volunteer their work and expertise. Many veterans have already received one of these incredibly beautiful quilts. Mine contains a lot of reference to the Air Force, my branch of service. These special people devote a lot of time, talent, to make sure veterans are not forgotten. In my eyes, this honor goes beyond being recognized for active duty. I see it as recognition for the privilege of serving our homeless and incarcerated veterans. I gave the presenters the Operation Confidence website so they could connect with us. They would make perfect guests on an upcoming show.
Oh, we love to have them on the show. Look at Matt.
Oh, beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that great? Yeah, there you go. And what's on there, Matt? You said that, oh, I see, what do I see? Some airplanes on there, and what else?
Yeah, there's a lot of references to Air Force and then just the colors, I guess.
Oh yeah, I see it now. Oh, that's beautiful. And,
yeah,
and that's all hand done or machine, or both?
They do a tremendous job, and it's all volunteer and all giving.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's beautiful people.
Mm-hmm. Please ask them to have them come on the show.
I want to get them on the show.
Yeah. That'd be wonderful. They can even show a little bit of their craft, you know? Thank you so much for sharing. We're so proud of that. Yay. And last but not least, what about the article? You thought you were going to get away with that. What about the article that you wrote?
Oh,
and
no.
You won an award.
Well, it's called "He Is in the Wind," is the poem, the name of the poem.
What is it again?
He is in the wind.
Oh, he is in the wind. Okay.
And that's what happens maybe sometimes, and I just imagine this, that if a veteran was in warfare, happened to be killed, and I imagine that his spirit rises up and that he is no longer on this level, but in the wind. And he can touch people through the wind.
Okay.
Never leaves them, never.
Wow.
But that's kind of what the poem is about. But anyway, I was surprised that it got the first prize.
Isn't that beautiful? So it's published in their magazine?
Yes. It's in the summer issue of Veterans Voices.
Okay.
And you can just Google them, Veteran Voices magazine, and they have copies that they can get to people.
And we want to put that on the website too. So send it to me, okay?
I will.
Okay, thank you. That was so beautiful. What a beautiful presentation. Thank you so much. Okay, we're winding down now here. We got you now, Brooke. You're going to talk about our little fundraiser that we hope to get started here.
Yeah, we're talking about Zoom Bingo. America's Invisible Heroes is proud to announce a monthly Zoom Bingo as fundraiser for Operation Confidence. Each player will receive a player's card or two, or as many as you can manage to download and use to play. The website generates the numbers that we will call for the game. I will run the game by taking care of the downloads, card distribution, number calling, etc. Bingo cards sell for $25 each. To register, go to Operation Confidence website homepage to PayPal and pay the $25 fee. Your confirmed registration card will be sent via email, followed by a Zoom link to participate. Zoom links will be sent to registered participants at least one day before the game. We'll hold our Zoom Bingo games on Sundays from 4 to 5 p.m. And it's going to last for about an hour just because the games go really quickly. And a lot of people can play. And the lucky winner of each round gets a $25 Amazon gift card.
Okay, moving right along. We're winding down now.
We're winding down. And before Ms. Connie closes, I would like to remind our listeners about our amazing advertisement rates. We have 20 and 30-second advertisement slots available. Please email info@operationconfidence.org for more information and visit Operation Confidence's website at www.operationconfidence.org resource page for some amazing resources. That email address again is info@operationconfidence.org and the website www.operationconfidence.org. Also, check out our online store on our website. All items sold, such as t-shirts and sportswear, 100% goes directly to Operation Confidence Housing Workforce Development Building Fund.
That's right.
Taylor?
Also, I would like to inform our viewers and radio listeners about Amazon Smile. When making your next purchase on Amazon, please go to Amazon Smile and type in Operation Confidence in the Choose Your Organization donation box. Amazon will make a small donation to Operation Confidence.
Okay. Okay, well, so we're leaving today. We want to thank everybody for coming on to the show. Our wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guest, Miss Hilda, and our chaplain, and Marcus. We just had a great show today and found out about Charles jumping off the building. and his wonderful message about COVID, and he's doing so great. I'm so happy, Charles. You have no idea. You'd have been devastated if anything happened to you. And then I got my Matt back. That's my Matt, my hero. You know, next week I'm gonna show you what Matt has done for Operation Confidence. We had this amazing event several years ago, but I'm not gonna blow it. I'm just gonna show you the pictures. It's gonna blow your mind. So I always consider him my hero. But I thank everyone for being on the show today. And also I want everyone to know that to our listeners, that our mission and the goals for Operation Confidence's Invisible Heroes is to raise awareness about the urgent need for our veterans, especially those with disabilities, to have stable housing, including resources and counseling and services and employment opportunities. And it's just not fair for them to be out living in the cold. And we got all these other veterans are now coming home, and we just have a huge job on our hands. So we need your support. So if interested in joining our grassroots efforts, please email us at info@operationconfidence.org. That's info@operationconfidence.org. And also visit our website to our resource center. We got tons of resources, and we want you to be able to check that out. If you have any information that you want to submit, don't forget info@operationconfidence.org. And before we close and turn it over to Charles, I wanted to say, in memory of our victims and heroes who's lost their lives that during September the 11th, please understand that you'll never be forgotten. We all love you. And that's the show for today. You want us to end with our PV commercial?
Yes, absolutely. You guys see that?
Long Beach, PVA, California chapter USA. The city by the waterfront, where the veterans work and play. Long Beach, PVA, California chapter USA. The city by the waterfront, where the veterans work and play.
Okay,
For more information or to be a guest on our show, email info@operationconfidence.org.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Yo.